Tour Junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to episode 7 question mark of the Bump and Run. I'm your host, DB, Pat Perry with me, our boy producer Tony in the corner, because he's a bad boy. But he's put together a lovely rundown for today's show. I'm excited to get into it. We're going to talk Charlie Woods. We're going to talk about a couple viral social media clips and some thoughts, and maybe thoughts potentially. OWGR discussion. Me and Pat are going to deliver our top 10 ranked players. It's the DWGR, the David World Golf Ranking, and the PWGR, the Pat World Golf Ranking. Discuss those. I think mine is going to be pretty controversial, but I stand by it. So it's going to be a good show. Producer Tony, how you doing? Pat, how you doing? We good, boys?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Little sound effect there. I don't know.
Unbelievable. Give him the hook.
That's
Are
me.
we okay?
I can't blame it on Pat. That's me.
No, you should have blamed it on Pat. He's like the dog. You smell something, you smell something funny, you just blame it on Pat.
Everything is just like woof from The Office nowadays. Everything is connected. I don't know what is what, where it's coming from.
It actually happens to me all the time. My phone rings and my laptop starts doing stuff, and I don't know how to stop it from doing that. Okay, anyway, Pat, how we doing, bud?
Man, I'm good. I'm really good. It's Mexico Open week, and I'm excited. We got a big stretch coming up, DB. Some good events. We got the players. We're gonna be there. We got Arnold Palmer coming up, and then before you know it, it's gonna be Masters week. That first full week in April.
Bruh. And there's so much going on, not just the world of golf, but also like life right now. It will be the end of Masters, I think, before we know it, but I'll also be exhausted. So looking forward to it all, though. It's going to be a good time. Tony, we good? You want to kick us off?
All good. It's countdown season, fellas, with countdown to the Masters. I saw a bunch of social channels put out 50 days to the Masters a couple days ago.
Ooh.
So we got 48 now. Pumped for that. It's my favorite event of the year. So really looking forward to sharing that with you guys, just the week and, the content that we're going to put out. As well as just that Thursday through Sunday, now that we're on the group chat and we've known each other for a good amount of time now, some of the joking back and forth that we can do that week, I think is going to be good. So yeah, really looking forward to the Masters coming up.
Yeah, and I did some shopping today for a little bit that we're going to roll out, I think, on Monday's show for the Cognizant something or another, basically the Honda. I'm excited about that. So yeah, we're going to have plenty of stuff to occupy us in the next 48 days. Plus March Madness, we'll have plenty of stuff.
I didn't even think about that.
Plenty of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Tony, kick us off.
We'll kick it off here, fellas. So today, actually, we're recording this on Thursday, February 22nd. Charlie Woods just finished up his round in the pre-qualifier, the pre-Q, for the Cognizant Classic, that's one of those words that I'm just going to stumble over anytime I try to say cognizant. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but we roll on. He shot a 16 over 86 today in this pre-qualifier, which included a 12 on the 7th hole, something that I'm familiar with. I stop at 10. If I get to triple, if I get to triple to whatever the hole is, I'm out. I'm just writing in the score, whatever it is, and I'm done. Anyway, I'm not trying to qualify for a PGA Tour event. Charlie Woods was. So DB, I'm going to toss this one out to you first. What are your thoughts on Charlie playing? I did read up beforehand that he was a +3 or is a +3 handicap. So then maybe the pressure of the bright lights of a pre-qualifier for a Monday qualifier kind of caught up to young Charlie. But give me your thoughts on him playing, and then just maybe some thoughts overall on, I guess, the golf world's infatuation with young Charlie, young little cat.
Is Charlie the biggest vanity handicap in the country right now? Is he just a vanity handicap guy? I mean, because honestly, I think that's worse than being a sandbagger. I do. Like, I think, we talked about the guys who turned in the 48 scramble score the other day, total sandbagger buttholes or whatever. Maybe they spent a bunch of money on trash and mulligans and string and stuff. If a vanity handicap is worse than a sandbagger. Change my mind. I think they are. And maybe Charlie Woods is a vanity handicap. He doesn't want to be a 4 handicap because his dad's Tiger Woods. And so when the rubber meets the road and he's got to turn in a real score and he can't just pick it up or he can't scoop it or he can't, count the putt and he's got to, the ball's got to hit the bottom of the cup and he makes a 12 on a par 4. That's a tough scene for young Charlie. It's also a tough scene for social media. Like we did not reshare the videos or do any of that other bull. I mean, we've done some Charlie content in the past, but dude, whatever PGA Tour intern was in the parking lot of that damn course this morning at 6:30 in the morning to make sure they got there to film Charlie walking up and Charlie putting on the putting green and all that nonsense. It's just so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. I don't know. I don't think Charlie, you know what I think Charlie's going to be? This is what I think Charlie's going to be. I think Charlie's going to have a good high school career, golf career. I think Charlie is probably going to play some college golf somewhere. And I think Charlie's going to be a YouTube golfer. I think he's going to be a good Bob Does Sports, Busta Jack YouTube golfer. And he might be the king of YouTube golf. I don't think he's going to be a professional golfer.
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I think YouTube golfer might be a little extreme.
That honestly, depending on what level of PGA Tour player you are or live player you are,
guess
it might be better. Like,
what qualifies you to be a YouTube golfer? Like, because does that mean he will have had like a few PGA Tour starts or Corn Ferry starts, or like zero at all? It's just only playing golf as a YouTube golfer.
The Busta Jack guys, the good guys, not the foreplay guys, the Bob Does Sports guys, none of them have had PGA Tour, Corn Ferry Tour starts. You just have to be a guy who has some money to have friends and have camera people and have editors and get access to all kind of courses and get access to celebrities and other fun people to play with and video it and put it up on YouTube.
And a personality, though. I don't know if Charlie's going to have the personality.
But he wouldn't have to be the main personality if he doesn't have it. First of all, I mean, he probably does. He's probably a cool kid, but like he doesn't have to be the main personality. If he teamed up with the right group, then just being all he has to do is be Charlie Woods. Like he could be mute and be fine. Like it's still going to carry a lot of traction on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't get the whole like I understand why it's so polarizing what he does and that when he's playing, but I don't think he creates it. I don't think, a lot of this is his fault. I mean, just because he shoots 86, whatever. There's a lot of pressure on you to try to do something when you're what is he, 14? I don't know.
No,
I mean,
15 now. Yeah.
So
I don't think it's his fault either.
I don't think he goes out saying like I'm gonna be a scratch golfer. I'm gonna be as good as my dad. Like, I mean, I just don't. I don't see that. I don't see, I'm going to be a pro. I don't see him doing that. He's just kind of doing his thing. And I think it's sad what the media does to him, to be honest, that we're out there grown adults, like watching every move that Charlie Woods does. And then, then we're also like bashing the kid. I mean, I can't stand that. I would never want that as a kid.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I would not want my scores even today posted on all the time posted on the internet. So yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously at some point Tiger and Charlie have had a conversation where like it's going to come with the territory, son. Like if you choose to play golf, if you want to play golf, this is going to come with the territory because I am the GOAT and it's not even debatable. So I'm one of the most recognized athletes in the world, and you are my son. And if you choose to play the same sport that I played, this is going to happen. So, I mean, I would like to think that at 14, 15, however old he is, he does have a choice. And so, but I also understand at that age, like you would want to play the sport that your dad's great at. Like, why wouldn't you? That'd be great. So, I mean, we've never really heard from Charlie. Like, what does he expect or what does he want to do or what are his dreams or what are his goals? And I don't expect that we should hear from him necessarily, but it is sad when, a lot of grown ass men are fawning over every club twirl and every, what's he wearing? And oh my God, he's the first one he's the first one out of the parking lot. Oh my God. And like tweeting everything. It is kind of sad. It is sad. we talk about him to some extent because it's golf newsworthy, but I'm with you. I don't think he's asked for it. At the same time, like, I don't believe he's so ignorant that he doesn't know it's coming when that's what you choose to do.
Yeah, no, I get that. It is uncanny the mannerisms that he has that are so similar to Tiger. That's the thing that always impresses me the most. Is like, golly, it's like you're watching a little mini me right there.
Yeah. And that's probably some of the obsession for these grown men, right? Because it takes us back. There's a little nostalgia in it because we see young Tiger in there, right? And that's nice. But yeah, it's boy. I would rather talk about Bo Titsworth, who qualified today. I saw our friend Monday Q. Did you see that, Pat? Did you see Bo Titsworth?
I did not.
What's his name, girl? What?
What a fantastic name! I didn't see that today.
Yeah, dude. Some kid. What did he call? Let me find the tweet. I gotta comb through all these effing Charlie Woods tweets to find it. Nice little 65 at the Honda pre-qualifier. So it's the same one that Charlie's doing, right? Isn't that right? It's the Honda pre-qualifier, the Cognizant pre-qualifier.
Yeah,
right?
the Cognizant. Yeah, I always because it's not the Honda anymore, right?
I know, but so Bo is some lad who shot a 65 today, 7 under. He's going to go. I would imagine he's going to be going to the qualifier. Bo Titsworth.
Yeah,
and the comments are fantastic. The first comment: thanks for keeping us abreast. God, so I wish my brain would have thought about that.
Yeah, that's a kiss your brain moment, right?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's fun. All right, that's enough about Charlie if we want. I don't have any other thoughts.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, we had top 5 and ties from this pre-qualifier. We'll advance to the Monday qualifier, and then from that, the top 4 spots will earn a spot into the Cognizant Classic next week. So, looks like Bo, Mr. Titsworth, has a good chance there.
Hell yeah! Do it for the tits, man. Do it for the tits.
Do it.
He needs a sponsor's exemption into Waste Management next year.
Yeah.
Just name alone.
Well, then again, I don't think they need to do anything in addition to rile up the natives there at the Waste Management at the WM Phoenix Open. I'm sorry.
Tarps off for Titsworth. All right, fellas, moving on. Next one. So we got a couple viral videos I want to play for you here. This first one is a little cringeworthy, major cringeworthy, actually. I'll go ahead and play it for you, and then we can react on the back end.
What you're doing there, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be right through, swing, follow through. Not you're doing too slow on the way up and then back.
Okay, I'm going through a swing change at the minute, so everything.
No, what you're doing there is you're coming back too slow. You know, I've been playing golf for 20 years. What you need to do is follow through a lot quicker than what you're doing there right now.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm going through a swing change at the minute, so with that, I'm just making everything.
Just hit one. Just hit one second.
Okay.
See how much better that was.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think that was. Yeah. No, I'm actually going through a swing change at the minute, so everything's slow. In order to get, I don't know whether you watch golf, the best players in the world when they are making a practice swing or they're going through a change.
What I'm saying is, I've been playing golf for 20 years, so you just need to follow through. See how much better that one was then. Keep doing that anyway, okay?
Thanks for your advice.
All right, are we in the trust tree here?
Yeah.
Pat, I'm gonna throw this one to you first.
Okay.
I don't see you being that cringeworthy, but I could see you being like, excuse me, not just the one, but I could excuse me. Let me tell you a little something about what you're doing there. I can I can kind of see that coming out in you.
I grew up at Augusta Country Club. I used to hit balls. You ever heard Charles Howell? I used to hit balls next to Charles Howell. Me and Charles used to walk around, play some golf.
Kevin Kiz, like that's Kevin Kisner.
I mean, Okay, first off, I thought we were gonna go a different route with the trust tree.
I did too. I did too.
I was gonna talk about I mean,
Maybe
something
you should
about.
choose your own path. You choose your own path. You
I
go
mean,
down
my
whatever
path
path
was
you-
about the outfit. I mean, it's something else. It's something else. The first off, maybe I could possibly come across that way to you, but actually, I'm the furthest from that. Like I don't know if I've ever given anybody any advice on the golf course. I mean, seriously. DB, have you ever seen me?
You are kidding right now that you've never given anyone advice.
I am not a golf give advice guy. Why would I be? I'm not good enough to do that. Name a time when you've seen me give somebody advice on the golf course.
I'm just saying there's no way for as long as you've played golf and as with all of your experience that you have, that you've never tossed out a little bit of advice.
No, not that I recall. I'm not that type out there.
No short game advice, no bump and run advice, no.
I've probably
advice.
done bump and run advice when I've been asked, maybe.
Top 1,000 in the world.
When I've been asked.
Yeah.
I believe you should get asked for advice to on the golf course, not just unsolicited advice.
What's your take on the outfit?
I mean, it's tight. It's very tight. I mean, it's obvious that there's some purpose behind it, but
not much. Honestly, there's not much.
Yeah, the guy though is certainly cringe, and her reactions are funny. Just like this little okay here and there, and how she hits a good shot, and he's like takes credit for it.
There you go.
I mean, that was kind of interesting, but
I have one just random.
The fact that you seriously said that I would be like that guy, literally makes me want to end the show and walk off. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
That would not be the first time, but that's not what I said.
I would never do.
You take it to level 1,000,000. That's not what I said. I do think that at some point in your illustrious golf career, you have offered up advice on the course. That offering up advice on the course, or a lot of times, like, what do we do when we're playing member guest? I'll tell you what's my one thought that I've had lately that I've been struggling with.
Yeah, that's different though. Like, I am not an unsolicited advice guy. I'm just not. And there are a lot. I mean, I will say this: I have played a lot of golf over 20 years, like that guy in the video, and I literally do not like unsolicited advice guy. Like, that is a person I hate to play with.
I agree, but there's a difference between this dude and the guy who says one or two things on the course, unsolicited advice. Like, I think there's a difference. Now, I'm not saying that he's not going to graduate to this dude at some point. But
I think that guy's the same guy on the golf course. It's unsolicited advice guy.
Okay, I have a random observation. Then I have two hot takes. The random observation is one of the cringiest parts about this video, and the cringiest thing about this video is British people that say Did you notice that in the beginning? And even the caption says Like, when she's like, oh, well, I'm playing golf, whatever. It's like, or I'm working on a swing change, ERM. It's in the caption. It's the weirdest sound to me that people say that. No offense to any.
I mean, we make weird sounds too. We're Southerners, so. But
two hot takes. Number one, on the outfit, I don't think she has the assets to wear that outfit. I think it's. You said there's a lot of purpose behind it. I don't think that there is. She can wear whatever she wants, of course, but it's people in the comments talking about how I don't get that.
You don't think that that there's purpose behind the skin tight?
There may be for her, but
basically looks like you're not even wearing anything. That's this.
I'm sure she's a lovely lad, but if she's trying to show off certain assets of hers for her social media benefit, which I'm sorry, but if you're a golf girl and you're filming yourself in those pants, you are trying to do that. So don't give me the whole oh, I'm not trying to do that. You make it. No,
that's what I mean when I say purpose behind it.
Yes, I understand.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I understand. You're not getting my joke. I'm saying the purpose is she has no ass. So
I don't know. I don't know.
It's flat as a board. Look at her, which is, again, it's fine. I'm just saying, if you are a young lady who's trying to show
I
that
think
off,
there's differences in people's asses.
like, know what you're working with. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of know.
That one, Tony.
But the
I
biggest
mean, I think
thing
there's
I have-
purpose. You might like a different style of that. And
you know people who love a flat ass. You know people that love that.
I don't think it's that flat, to be honest.
Listen,
Bruh.
I've been looking at asses for 20 years, okay? And let me just
Yeah.
Okay, the biggest hot take I have is that this whole thing is staged. I 100% will go to my grave. This video is completely staged. And once you allow your brain to go there, because it goes viral, because everybody just can't believe what a jackass this guy is. And if you flip the switch and you allow your brain to go there and then watch it again and pick up on the little things that she's saying and he's saying and the timing of it all and the coincidence of it all and how most women who I've seen respond to this video on social media have said, "Oh no, honey, like you had way more patience than I did. I'm not going to be mansplained on how to hit a golf ball." When you think about all those things and you add all those things up, this video is staged. This girl is a genius for doing this because it's drawing a lot of traffic to her account, but it's 100% staged.
I don't care. I mean, I think that was I really haven't thought that much about this video other than a few things. I mean, I don't. Your analysis of this video is like your analysis when you do unsolicited advice on people's golf swings on the golf course. You know, that's exactly what this sounds like.
I'm just, I am full-time DB, so I will concede that I have more time to analyze our
I watched it once before the show, and that was,
That's
maybe
fine.
I need to watch it a few more times so I can see that the ass is flat. I don't know.
We're gonna get hate for that too. That's fine. It's fine. Everybody's thinking it. People are thinking it, but
was that in the comments how flat the ass was?
I did not see that. I didn't see that.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're moving on to somebody who we don't want to be like, whether it was staged or not, to somebody I know you guys definitely want to be like. We've got a guy who lives on a golf course who is just the absolute best. So same deal. I'll play the video. We'll react on the back end.
Giving out fireball in this hole last summer. My buddies from Rhode Island were here. And they said, hey, instead of you carrying out the fireball, we need a way to deliver the freaking fireball. And so Christmas comes, I get a box of 200 t-shirts and this cannon. And I'm like, we also discussed apparently in our state, what about liability? If someone gets their eye poked out with this operation. So check out the t-shirt.
That's what you leave it at?
Okay. He's seen a lot of stuff that he has to live with.
Amazing. Howard's amazing.
Howard's a great guy. Don't know if I would have ate that candy at the end there, but fireball t-shirt, that's pretty awesome. And then just the graphic that we have of this guy sitting on his fire pit, just holding a t-shirt cannon. Like that's
like a nice house. Like a really,
that's not the American dream.
This looks like if you photoshopped him and the cannon and the cooler and put it in the streets of San Francisco next to a guy with fentanyl and like been up like this, you would think he belonged there. But no, he's in front of this lovely backyard in this $1 million house somewhere, shooting bright ass orange t-shirts with fireball wrapped in them and cheap ass York peppermint patty candies to golfers on the unbelievable scene here from this guy. I have some thoughts. The York peppermint patty is the one I got to give him a ding on that. Like that's lame, isn't it? Like, can we all agree that's a lame candy? If you're gonna wrap candy in the thing, can we not do a Reese's cup or something?
I don't know. I wonder if there's some purpose behind that. It's just like the last thing. Like, what if that's like to hide your breath after, like when you get off the golf course, you don't want to smell like you've been having all the fireball, so you just eat the peppermint patties. I don't know. I think it's a terrible.
If my guy is shooting fireball with a t-shirt cannon to strangers. I don't know that he's actually gives a crap about what their breath smells like when they get home.
I'm not talking about him. I mean, maybe he's helping them out. I don't know. I think it's a weird candy to put in there. I agree.
I do too. How many times a day do you think he tells that story? Like the way he just, I mean, can you imagine every group is pulling up like, huh? How does he get their attention? What does he do? Does he fire a flare up in the sky to let them know that, oh, there's something over here you need to ask about? And then I can just see him delivering that story 54 times a day on some, highly trafficked semi-private club in Florida. And he just got it down to a science. His buddies in Rhode Island. And then the timing, the comedic timing of like, and blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, bang. And he just shoots it. And they're like, ugh! And they go, it's amazing.
Yeah, he sets it up perfect. So obviously you can tell he's got practice. I don't know. Maybe there's a fireball day. Like maybe he's not doing it every day, but there's just a day where it's fireball day on the golf course. I don't know. But the thing that for me was just like, I was sitting there like watching this yesterday and I'm thinking, what's the t-shirt for? And then he starts talking about the liability. And so I guess the t-shirt obviously cushions the fireball so that he doesn't hit somebody in the face with the fireball. But I mean, it was it certainly is pretty funny. And the guy's kind
of drinking fireball. Like it's just a freaking kerosene. That stuff is terrible.
Yeah, but
it's terrible for you. What would you this is what I kind of thought about, and I don't have a great answer. I'm hoping you can come up with one, Pat. Like I could see this being something that me and you do as like what if one day we're both retired, we're done, we hang it up, we live next door to each other like best friends in the world. And every Saturday after we can't, maybe we're either too fat or too crippled to play golf, but we just get to live vicariously through the young 20s and 30s and 40 somethings that come through the club. And we're shooting off something out of a t-shirt cannon. Like what are we shooting? Like old Tour Junkies t-shirts that we accumulate over the year? Maybe it's Siwoo Kim t-shirts after he's retired or playing on the senior tour. And what are we wrapping up in the t-shirt and sending off?
Well, it gets hot here in the South and this actually just popped in my head. So like around here, when we're playing maybe playing in a golf tournament or a Friday group or something like that, especially when it's really hot, you just have randoms show up because we can like just on their golf cart with these popsicles but they're like popsicles that have alcohol in them.
God, that's so awesome.
And they're so good. They're like the push pop type things.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Plastic. Oh, I could see us like shooting those out to people, especially in like the hot summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a clip of push pops. Just
yeah.
Yeah. That would be great. That'd be the dream. That'd be the dream. Yeah. We need more of these guys. We need more Howard. You want to talk about growing the game. Howard is growing the game. Because if you don't think there's some 24-year-olds that go by and they go tell their boys, like, you guys got to come to the golf course with us. Just hack it around. You can play out of my bag. Old Fat Howard's going to send us a few fireballs and a York peppermint patty, and it's just electric. Come see. And then the next thing you know, their friends are like, oh, drinking and being outside, listening to music and hanging out with my boys for 4.5, 5 hours is awesome.
You have the opposites too on the golf course. If you live on a golf course with, or play a golf course where people live on it, they're going to be the opposite of him, that just get mad that a golf ball hits their house. And you're like, you live on a golf course.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not all professionals. All right.
Next time if somebody gets mad at me for that, next time I'm going to go, Charlie Woods made a 12 on a par 4. If you think he didn't hit a house or two during that 12, and he's Charlie freaking Woods. My dad's Dan Barnett. He was a cop for 30 years. Okay. I'm going to hit your dumb house 4 inches from the white line. Okay. That's what I'm going to say next time. I'm going to print the tweet of his scorecard and take it to him.
And then
a satellite image of that hole he made a par 4 on. All right. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Howard.
Just the vibes that guy has overall. Like you said, DB2 at the when you guys a couple weeks ago at Dobson Ranch. I know the Paulsons with Inside the Ropes on PGA Tour Radio. They always talked up Goat Hill out in San Diego. Just a cool park you can go to. You don't need a collared shirt. Just different things like that. Just to kind of just to switch up the feel of the game a little bit. Makes it just all the more relaxing. But next one I got for you guys here. We had a couple things with the official World Golf Rankings this week as far as Thorbjørn Olesen. We got 3 guys who got into the Masters. with special invites, all kind of varying degrees, have ties to this show. We got Thorborn, who got in again, along with wrong one. Hold on.
Hisatuncie.
Got in, and then DB, your boy Joachim Neiman, got into special invites for the Masters, which also led to Greg Norman throwing out a post about the official world golf rankings, where he said, laughable, Liv would have 2 players in the top 50 OWGR if we exclude recent signees. And then he posted a list of 4 different rankings groups: the official world golf rankings, SI, one from Data Golf, and then one called, I'm going to call it Tugger, world golf rankings, TUGR, which apparently is the universal golf rankings, which I hadn't heard of.
I think this all self-acclaimed on that side. I think they're doing their own thing. They're
unanimous. We got Scotty Scheffler, and then it varies from there. You've got Live guys, you've got PGA Tour guys. From 2 to 10 is what I'll go with. Everything is just kind of all over the place. So I wanted to throw that at you guys. I wanted to, if we had a TJGR, the Tour Junkies golf rankings, we can do this. Each of you give me a top 10. What would your TJGR rankings look like?
Okay.
How do you start?
All right, I can start. So we're gonna go ahead and just say Scheffler's one, because I don't see
Agreement.
it. Okay.
I'm gonna let you go through first. Sorry, I don't want.
All right, here's my top 10 other than Chef. So 2 is Rahm, 3 is Rory, 4 is Victor, 5 is Brooks, 6 is Jordan, 7 is Abear, 8. I don't like 8. I kind of feel like 8 is like an 8A and B is Cantlay and Xander, but I really don't even want to put them in there. But I just feel like, I mean, unanimously, and all of these are kind of in there. Then I'm going Gooch and Neiman. Now, I put a lot of live guys in here, and I think these live guys, like especially Neiman and Gooch, if they were getting ranking points, would be up there in the top 10 the way they've been playing lately. So, and I think Brooks is one of the best players in the world. I mean, when he comes to a major, you never can count out Brooks. And so that's why I put him so high up there. So there you go.
Wow. Serious question. Did you forget that Max Homa or Colin Morikawa exist?
I did not. Actually, I had Kawa up there. I think I had him at.
So you put Gooch?
I think I had him at
Gooch and Neiman above
I had
Max
him at
Homa.
8, and then I moved him out to keep Cantlay and Xander in there. Really, Gooch is kind of like. I will switch Gooch and Neiman, and I'll put Gooch 12, because really I had 11, because I put Xander and Cantlay as 8A and B.
But you would put so you'd put Xander and Cantlay over Homa and Morikawa? I
would, yeah. I think on an average basis, they're better than Homa and Kawa.
Yeah, this obviously depends on how you think about it. And
I mean, look at these rankings. Xander and Cantlay are in the top 5 of every single one of them. So you couldn't immediately say Homa and Kawa are ahead of those two. I don't think.
Well, I think it depends on how you look at it. So, obviously the OWGR, I think that whole system is very flawed. First of all, I think it goes. I think it's there's too much weight in some of the longer term stuff. And, we've talked to golfers. Golfers change. They go through, I mean, a golfer for 3 months could look this way, and then the next 3 months he looks this way, and then another 3 months from now he looks like this one back here. And, it changes a lot. And so sometimes I think it's just hard to get – sometimes the World Golf Ranking gives so many points and credit to what a guy did 10 months ago, and now it seems like he's a totally different player. And then vice versa, a guy who's on fire – isn't catching up to the same speed that you feel like he should be catching up to in terms of where does he rank today? I don't have any math behind this, but this is how I thought about it. I thought about it kind of 2 ways: pure talent. And then I thought about majors, because we say majors are what determines the best players in the world. Do we not? We say they're the strongest fields.
We do. Although the problem is there's a lot of players that are the best players in the world that are steadily getting pushed out of the majors.
I know.
Gooch is one of them.
That is a huge problem. I agree. So what I did is in my head and not my imaginary major championship scenario where legitimately the best golfers in the world get to play, live PGA, I don't give a crap, where they all get to play. Who do I think performs best in those majors? Who do I think? And then aside from that, outside of the majors, who's just the most talented? So we both have the same top two, Scotty and Rahm. I'm sure you're not going to be surprised by this, but Rory is in my 5 spot. I think in terms of pure talent and a guy who could win a major tomorrow, and I trust him to do it more so than I do everyone on the list behind him, maybe except for Brooks, is Dustin Johnson. I have him at 3. I have Victor Hovland at 4. I have Rory at 5. I have Homa at 6. I mean, Homa's won, 3 or 4 times since Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele have won at all. So how are we going to say those guys are ranked higher than Max Homa just because they consistently finish 5th? And like Homa might throw.
Well, then I would question you on whether or not Homa has performed well in majors.
He just started performing well in majors last year. He had good performances in majors last year. That is true. He was a late bloomer there. So I go Homa 6, Brooks Koepka 7. Then I was torn like you on where to put Xander and Cantlay because on pure talent, they deserve to be in the top 10. But they also feel like the same guy. So I put them at 8 and 9. And I put Kawa at 10. I think you could make the argument that Kawa should be above them, but Kawa's also just kind of shown to be a little bit of a beta, and I don't like him that much. So Kawa's 10. That's my list. Now, right behind that list, if I were to rank the next 5, it gets really hard because I wrote down Cam Smith, who we've not talked about, Bryson, who we haven't talked about, Neiman, Ludwig, Wyndham Clark, and Justin Thomas, who's resurging right now. Like Thomas is not going to get any credit in the long term because he had a rough year last year. But right now he's looking a little more like vintage Justin Thomas. He's got to win, but I think he's probably, top 15 player in the world. But that next 5 or 6 is also hard to figure out.
I'm surprised you didn't put Neiman in there. I think Neiman, from a talent standpoint, is one of the top 10 players in the world.
I think he's very talented, but
he can hit a ton of different shots.
Even on the PGA Tour, though, I sometimes questioned how engaged he was from a week to week. And that kind of hurts you. You know what I mean? And I don't know that Neiman really showed it in majors when he had opportunities. I'd have to go back and look at his major record, but I don't.
Part of this too, though, is and this is what drives me crazy about, especially, a lot of things. People pick bets, they pick DFS lineups, and they just pick whatever. I mean, one and dones off people they like, and moving people up and down the rankings because you don't like them is just stupid to me. Like I don't think you put Rory at 6 or 7. I know you have him at 5 or whatever, just because you don't like Rory or he hasn't closed the door on some majors. I mean, you can't look at me and tell me that Rory is not one of the most talented golfers in the world.
He's in my opinion, he's the 5th most talented golfer in the world. That's pretty freaking good. That's
pretty good. But I think he should.
You think he's more talented than Dustin Johnson? You think he's more talented than Dustin Johnson?
Yes, I do.
Maybe
I think that's a stretch to put DJ up that high.
But right now, I trust DJ to close the door at the Masters way more than I do Rory to close, or any major for that matter. Way more. Give both of them tied going into the last back 9 on a Sunday for any major. I'll take DJ every day of the week. And that's something. That is a talent. He has a talent of being a big, dumb animal in big situations and being a mouth breather, not getting worked up, not putting too much pressure on himself, and closing the door. And he's freakish.
How could you say that over Brooks Koepka? Brooks Koepka closes the door in majors. DJ's won 2 majors. They're like the same person. I would put Brooks Koepka over DJ.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how you can make an argument for that. I think there's a little bit of recency bias in DJ's recent dominant live in Vegas.
I agree.
A little bit of that. Just again, I'm thinking about who today is my top 10. But I can get down with that.
The thing that's interesting, though, is that you and I are very different, as are some of these rankings that we're looking at here. And so it also brings up the point of, what is the best way to determine these rankings? Because even just you and I are 2 talking heads about golf, have very different views of people, of players.
Yeah.
And so it makes it very hard to say like what's the exact one. I do think though the official world golf ranking is definitely flawed, especially with the way things are now. It's got to adapt to the way things are now. And so I don't know what the perfect way is, but it's certainly not reflective of who the real top, 50 people or so in the world are.
Yeah. And, going back to the Masters invites with Neiman and Histautier and and who's the third one? Piss Bear.
Or
Yeah.
Torbjorn.
It's not like the Masters just decided to give this to him because he's done well at Live. I don't think that's actually what happened. They're doing it because of what he's done to qualify. Didn't he win like the Asian Pacific or something over the fall, or he contended and played well over there? And then there was something else that's in their qualifications. I think it's a misleading statement to say, oh, the Masters is smart because they're realizing they need Live guys in the field. I don't think that's actually what happened. I mean, there's a Masters board member, or there's a Masters member on the board at the OWGR that's choosing to block Live from getting points. So I don't think that that's the case. And the argument here can all be boiled down. Everybody bickering on Twitter about should they be in, should they not, should Live players be in the majors, should they not? You can forget all the points thing. Like all the world golf ranking points can be thrown out the window for majors if the 4 majors decide they just want the best players in the world and they want to determine who they are. So like they could get the National, the USGA, the PGA of America, the RNA could all get 12 guys in a room and vote on who their best players are and who they want in majors, and then just make it happen regardless of world golf ranking points. If they decide Taylor Gooch is one of the best players in the world, they want him in a major, they want to send an invite, they should do that. They're not doing that. That's not what they're doing. That's not what the Masters is doing. I'm glad they're letting Joaquin Niemann play because I love watching Joaquin Niemann. I think he's a good fit for Augusta, but that is not what they are doing. And so it's not like I don't understand the Live victory laps for this. There really shouldn't be a Live victory lap here.
Yeah,
So,
I don't.
Golf Digest put out an article on this. It says Neiman has played in a number of non-live competitions, hoping to raise his OWGR standing, and he captured the 2023 Australian Open in December.
Yeah,
it appears that Australian victory was the catalyst for his inclusion. In a press release, Augusta National cited that win, along with top 5 finishes on the DP World Tour, among his credentials, with no mention of live golf.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's fairly obvious either way that he should be a top 50 in the world golfer.
100%. I wish the National would invite more. I mean, like 80. I'm so sick of. I mean, we're not getting into Masters discussion, but I'm sick of the Masters being a 90 or 85 player field. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's too small. I wish it was a little bit bigger.
It doesn't have to be 140 or 150, but it's going to be 80.
I think if it
like
just got to 100,
players.
yeah, just get to 100.
100 would be amazing. Anyway, all right.
Good stuff, fellas. Listeners, comment below, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Give us your thoughts on what you think a top 10, top 5, top 10 would be, and give us some explanation on that. All right, guys, last topic that I've got for you. We had several, incidences last week with, I'm just going to call them the runs. I don't know if that's factual or true or not, but I'm going with the runs. We had Tiger, who had to withdraw from the Genesis Invitational because of reportedly the runs, but what he said was influenza. We also had a video of Tom Kim rushing to the first tee, almost missing his tee time last week as well. Again, I'm just going to assume that it was the RIA. I have no basis to determine that at all, but we're going to go with that. And then I saw today also that Cantlay was also dealing with a fever. So we're going to include him as he had the runs last week as well. They were serving a lot of in and out last week. So that was kind of making the rounds. Also, that in and out gave everybody diarrhea at the Genesis Invitational. Can't confirm that. But going off of that, though, guys, I want to know, do you guys have any kind of, and it doesn't have to be, just pooping your pants type stories, but do you guys have anything where you're rushing to the first tee? Maybe something hits you during the round, have one too many or something like that, and just can't find a bathroom. Any kind of stories or anything like that while you guys have been out on the course? DB, I'll toss that out to you first.
Well, before I answer that, I would say that one of my chief concerns, if that were to happen, would be in the process of having to take care of myself, is that I would somehow manage to get a stain on my Swannies polo. And if you haven't checked out the Swannies polos yet, you're missing out. I'm actually wearing one right now. Can't wait to bust this one out on the course here pretty soon. Our friends at Swannies are giving you a major discount. If you use code TJ25, you get 25% off your entire order. You can use that over and over again. We got a bunch of people buying up Swannies gear in the Discord. So shout out to Swannies for taking care of us, for taking care of us for the rest of the year, sponsoring this show. And go to swannies.co. Click the link in the description of the podcast or the YouTube video, and get you some good Swannies merch for yourself, your wife. There's junior apparel on there. It's all good looking stuff, all shipped to anywhere in the U.S. and Canada. Good local U.S.-based family-owned business with Swannies doing a great thing. So check them out. Yes, I would be concerned getting that on my shirt or my Swannies shorts or joggers potentially. I don't have any experience with that yet. I mean, I did just turn 40, so I do expect things to. Yeah, I can't believe it took that long. I do expect things to begin to go south and become uncontrollable somehow at some point. I would imagine it would start with some sort of a fart that then turns into a disaster. I think that's how it'll go down for me if I want to predict my own situation here. I think that's how it'll be. But no, I've never really had anything, and I've never the most interesting bathroom situation that I've ever witnessed with my own eyes was when I was caddying at Augusta National in 07 and 08 in college. There was a caddy who got fired, and actually this went around on the Facebook because it was 07, 08. I think it went around. It went whatever viral was back then because this caddy got fired because I was in the group behind him. He was in his group was the old ball coach from University of Florida Gators, Steve Spurrier. And Steve Spurrier stepped off to the side of 11 fairway to take a piss. And the caddy had his phone on him, which was a no-no to begin with, and then took a picture of Spurrier taking a piss in the woods at Augusta and posted it. And it got him fired. And I saw the whole thing happen. That's it. That's all I got. That's the most controversial thing I've seen happen on a golf course in a bathroom. Now, Pat, and all of his, older years and a lot more experience of playing golf, I'm sure he has a more compelling story. So we can wrap up with that.
I feel like I'm being looked at to provide some sort of education, experience, and whatever with this, but I actually don't really have much experience with this. I can't recall it really happening. I think the OCD part of me gets the better of me in that I like to make sure that things are released before I play golf. As a matter of fact, if it doesn't happen, it's more like I'm locked up. It's not going to be and that's going to make me even more mad. So I don't really have much experience with that. So I can't really provide anything. I hate to burst anyone's bubbles, but I just don't have it.
It's all right, bud. It's all right. You let us know when it happens, okay?
I mean, when it happens, yeah, I'll let you know. I'm sure, So.
All right. I think that's it. I think that wraps up episode 7 of the Bump and Run. Thank you to those who are getting into the show. We hope you like it. If you have any tips or suggestions on what we should talk about next week or from week to week, drop it in the comments. Send us a DM. All the DMs are open on socials and in the Discord. Click the like button on the YouTube channel or YouTube video. Subscribe to the channel, and let's have a great week. All right. See you. Out.
Keep it hot.